Hello, we're going to continue our reading of We're Overboard, and I've got 3 short chapters to read in this session. And it's getting to a really interesting place of the story as we find out what happens with Jamal, Bibi, Omar, and Rashida as they travel aboard the smuggling boat towards Australia, or what they think is Australia. That was a bit of a spoiler alert. Chapter 28. I wake up. I'm stiff and smelly and sore and hungry, but something feels good. And I realize what it is. I'm not seasick anymore. I left Bibi's head off my shoulder, careful not to wake her, and gently lean it against Rashida's. Then I stand up and painfully stretch my legs and blink gratefully at the sunrise that's turning the flat sea into a golden desert. I realize another good thing. The engine has stopped. The silence is blissful. After 3 days and nights of rumbling and chugging, all I can hear is the slap of water against the boat and the faint crying of babies, and suddenly a smuggler shouting. The 3 smugglers are standing in front of their cabin with the sailors around them. Noodle soup, I think happily. They're giving us more noodle soup. Except for, where's the pot? There's been a mistake, shouts the chief smuggler, waking a fistful of boat tickets. The price you were charged is wrong. To go to Australia, you must each pay another $100. I stare at them stunned. All the people over the deck are rubbing their eyes sleepily and staring at each other in disbelief. Rashida is on her feet. Bibi looks confused, trying to take this all in. The chief smuggler says it again, and in other languages. People start yelling and wailing. A man jumps up and tries to look at the tickets in the smuggler's hands, but the sailor pushes him down and threatens him with a wooden club. I see that all the smugglers and sailors are holding onto clubs, except for the sailor in yellow overalls, who's holding a bucket. My bread bucket. Pay the full price, shouts the smuggler, or we turn back. There's a lot of crying now, and it's not just babies. I put my arm around Bibi. The smugglers and sailors move along the deck, emptying people's bags, thrusting their hands into people's pockets, raising their clubs at anyone who says no. Everything valuable goes into the bucket. Money, jewelry, candlesticks, everything. I can feel Omar trembling beside me. I haven't got anything, he croaks in a tiny voice. Nor have I. My pocket money jar got blown up with my room. I pull Bibi close to me and wonder desperately how the smugglers would feel about me teaching them $200 worth of bull tricks. I glance at Omar and Rashida. $400 worth. Not good, probably. Fuel is expensive, the chief smuggler shouts. It's 6 more days' fuel to Australia. Only 3 days of fuel to go back. You choose. The bucket appears in front of my face. Pay up, barks the sailor in yellow. And then he recognizes Bibi and Rashida, and his face twists with dislike. I duck down and fumble under the corner of my blanket and pull our last 2 loaves of bread out. I put them in the bucket. I hold my breath while the sailor stares at them, and I pray that he likes sandwiches. The sailor grabs the loaves and flings them into the sea. Before I can offer to make him and the smugglers fresh bread if they've got flour, Rashida reaches into her suitcase and hands something to the chief smuggler. It's a watch. 4 people, she says. The smuggler studies the watch and then tosses it into the bucket. We all wait for him to say it's not enough. The sailor smirks. Omar prays. Rashida bites her lip. I hang on to Bibi. Ever since the bread hit the water, she's been growling and trying to get close enough to kick the sailor. The smuggler moves on, pulling the startled sailor after him. We stand here, weak and with relief. When we find the strength to speak, Omar gets in first. Where did you get a watch that valuable? He asks Rashida. Dad bought it with the rest of his savings, she replies. He knew that this would happen. I want to hug Rashida. I also want to hug her dad. Instead, we sit here, hoping the smugglers get enough in their bucket. Finally, they do. The boat engine coughs to life. and we jolt forward and chug and rumble towards Australia again. I want to hug Rashida and her dad even more. Instead, I stare at the horizon, hoping desperately that if the same thing happens on Mum and Dad's boat, Mum gives up her wedding ring without a fight. Jamal, whispers Bibi, how many days have we been on this boat? Her head is heavy against my arm. I open my eyes and the sunlight sears in. I squint down at her face and it's wet with perspiration. She's got a fever. How many days? She whispers again. I wipe her face with Rashida's spare t-shirt. 5, I say, I think. 6, murmurs Rashida, sitting hunched on the other side of me. I was going to say that, mutters Omar over his shoulder. I know why Bibi's asking. The food on the and water on the boat ran out this morning, and she wonders how many days we've got left to get to Australia, trying to work out if we will survive. I've been doing the same. The answer is 3, but I don't know if we can. A lot of people sitting on the deck look as though they feel the same way. I've never seen so much despair in my life on so many faces. I wipe Bibi's face again. Try to forget what day it is, I say to her. Just try and rest. I don't want to forget which day it is, says Bibi in a tiny voice. It's my birthday. I stare at her, my sun-addled brain frantically calculating the date. Oh, Bibi, I say, I've forgotten. I'm so sorry. How could have I forgotten? It's bad enough being stuck out here in the middle of the ocean on your birthday, but to have your own family forget, it's terrible. I can see from Rashida and Omar's faces that they think so too. Happy birthday, Bibi, I say to her miserably. The others do too, and then I pull myself together. There's not much I can give Bibi for her birthday out here, not even a glass of water. But one thing I can try and do is try and cheer her up. Let's plan a party for your birthday, I say to her. We'll have it when we get to Australia. Okay, she says, brightening. My birthday's in 4 months, says Omar, and Rashida gives him a dig with her elbow. In Australia, I say to Bibi, when it's your birthday, the Australian government comes around to your house with a cake and fizzy drinks. Not sure if it's completely true, but with a kind and caring government, it could be. Anyway, it's a thought that counts. And sardines? Asks Omar. Yes, I say, probably. And hamburgers with onion and egg and chili and sauce, says Rashida. Definitely, I say. Brilliant, says Omar. But what's a hamburger? Rashida tells him. I prefer ice creams to hamburgers, says Bibi. She's looking better than she has in hours. In Australian supermarkets, I say, they sell 50 different kinds of ice cream. Okay, now I'm getting carried away. The others are looking at me, frowning. 50? Says Omar. Get real, says Bibi. 20, maybe. I give them a look to know that if I'm exaggerating a bit, it's to make us all feel better. What's a supermarket? Says Omar. Rashida thinks for a moment. It doesn't have stalls like a normal market, she says. It's one very big shop that sells everything. Even bait, says Omar, gloomily eyeing his fishing line. Bait and everything, says Rashida. My mum used to love the supermarkets. Your mum, I say, staring at her. Didn't I tell you, says Rashida. I was born in Australia. Now Bibi and Omar are staring at her too. Soon after I was born, we had a letter from Afghanistan, said Rashida quietly, telling us how my uncles were dead in the war. So we went back to look after my grandparents until they died too. And then the government would not let us return to Australia. My parents were very sad. Rashida stares out across the churning water towards where we had come from, and then she turns, pulls away, and pulls out her mirror and lipstick. I watch her make her lips green again, which can't be easy when the boat's rocking and your lips are trembling. I'm sorry about your uncles and grandparents, I say quietly. And your parents? Before I could stop myself, I'm thinking about my uncles and grandparents and my mum and dad, and suddenly Bibi's birthday doesn't feel so happy anymore. The people at the front of the boat start screaming. At first, I thought word had reached them about the 50 different kinds of ice cream. But when I turn around, I see they're excited about something else. Another boat is coming towards us. I jump up, dizzy with excitement myself. For a wild moment, I think it's Mum and Dad's boat. We've caught up with them and they've seen us and they've come over. But it's too big to be Mum and Dad's boat. And as it gets closer, I can see no people sitting on the deck, just a few men in tracksuits and trainers standing watching us. Another wild thought hits me. They look like a soccer team, an international soccer team, perhaps travelling to the World Cup qualifying match by boat. Then I see the men are all holding automatic weapons. People on our boat are whispering to each other fearfully. They're repeating one scary word that makes my insides go colder than 50 different types of ice cream. Pirates. Oh no, mutters Rashida. I realize it must be true. Sailors don't wear tracksuits and very expensive trainers. Soccer teams do not carry automatic weapons, not even in the cup finals. I pull Bibi to her feet and hold her close. We watch, frozen with fear, as the pirate ship stops next to ours. Several pirates jump onto our deck. The others stand on the deck, pointing their guns at us. I wait for the smugglers to fight the pirates. They don't. Instead, they greet the pirates with big grins. They shake hands. They jump onto the pirate boat. The sailor in yellow goes with them, and under his arm is the bucket of valuables. They're abandoning us, whispers Rashida. I stare in horror. She's right. The smugglers must have arranged this. They've taken our money, and now they are dumping us. Stinking jackal fleas, mutters Bibi. I knew it, says Omar gloomily. I knew this would happen. Some of the pirates are still on our boat, and now something even worse is happening. The pirates are grabbing at huddled people on the deck, pulling their coats and blankets off them. I don't get it. The smugglers have already taken our valuables. The pirates are dragging a young woman to her feet. They're carrying her, kicking and screaming onto the boat. And suddenly I understand. The pirates aren't looking for money or jewelry. They're looking for girls who are out of doors without their parents. These pirates are as bad as our government. Oh no, mutters Rashida. I take the knotted shirt off my head. I pull Bibi's headscarf off, and I put the t-shirt hat on her head, stuffing her hair under it. Bibi understands what I'm doing, and she knots her skirt between her legs to look like baggy shorts. Quick, I say to Omar, give Rashida your hat. I haven't got a hat, squeaks Omar. Then remembers the shorts on his head. He gives them to Rashida. Put it onto Rashida, tuck your hair up. And while she does, I wrap the blanket around her and rub my hand over her face until her makeup is so smudged it looks like dirt and grass stains. I signal for us both all to sit down. I grab my soccer ball and start bouncing it from knee to knee. I knee it to Rashida. She knees it to Bibi. Bibi knees it back to me. I return it, and soon we have a rhythm going. I pray that Omar doesn't try and join in. Normally we'd let him, but today his lack of skill could be fatal. He doesn't. Not too fast, I beg Rashida silently, as the ball goes around in a circle. You haven't had that much practice. A shadow falls over us, and a pirate stops right in front of us, studying the ball as it goes back and forward. I pray he doesn't know how brilliant females can be at soccer. I pray he assumes that anyone with knee skills like Bibi and Rashida must be male. He's not tearing their hats off and dragging them onto the pirate boat, so it must be working. Suddenly, the pirate grins, and he takes a step back, and he swings his foot at the ball. Even as I see it coming, I know I should let him kick it, but my leg responds faster than my brain. I trap the ball and slide it to one side. The pirate kick misses by a mile, and he falls backward onto the deck, and his automatic rifle cluttering down next to him. The other pirates laugh. The people around us give a quiet moan. We wait, frozen, for the pirate to shoot us all, but he doesn't. Instead, he gets up and he takes a step back and he kicks me in the hip really hard. Pain explodes up and down my body. I writhe on the deck, my knees hunched to my chest, my eyes full of tears. And for a long time, I can't even straighten my legs. All I can do is squint anxiously at Bibi. Please don't attack the pirate, I begged to her silently. Please don't. She doesn't. She wants to. But Omar is hanging onto her as tight as he can, and she can't shake him off. Finally, after Rashida has rubbed my hip for ages, I manage to sit up. The pain brings more tears to my eyes, but I can see what's happened. The pirates have gone. The boat is a dot on the horizon. The smugglers have abandoned us. We are alone in the middle of the ocean, a boat full of starving, wailing people, and 3 scared sailors. This is it. It can't get any worse than this. And that's the end of 3 chapters. Hope you're enjoying.